We start this midday with breaking news, specifically the latest on the investigation following a deadly Suffolk police-involved shooting from last December.
Suffolk's Commonwealth's attorney released the report in the investigation. We know there will not be any charges filed.
Now, 10 on your side's Andy Fox first broke this story on Twitter and online, and he's live now with the breaking details. Andy?
Katie and Don, this is the general area where on December 28th, Corey Eckstein was shot by a Suffolk police officer. Phil Ferguson has just finished his review. He wants to emphasize that his findings are only about criminal liability. That is it. He is not dealing with any of the other issues, just the criminal liability. You are about to see the body cam video. You are going to hear a lot of things in it. I want to warn you that it is disturbing, but you do not actually see Eckstein get shot in the video. This is Suffolk police officer James Babor. From his body camera, it is clear on several occasions he tells Corey Eckstein to show his hands. As we first reported, Eckstein is laying on the ground and then suddenly sits up. This is what happened next.
Let's wait for more units. He's supposed to have a gun on him. We need to get him in custody. No. Show me your hands now! Show me your hands or I'm gonna shoot you!
The basic reasons he was not charged was the officer had to make a split-second decision. The question is, were his actions reasonable or the actions of a reasonable police officer based on all the facts that he had in his possession at that time? And the answer is yes, his actions were reasonable.
One fact Babor was missing was in the video you hear Babor say Eckstein has a gun on him. But moments earlier, another officer who is now standing right next to Babor, Officer Abrigo, sees Eckstein drop his gun, but she never communicates that to Babor, who still thinks Eckstein has a gun. Ferguson concerned about that. Are you troubled by that?
That is troubling, yes.
Did there become a time when you were able to interview Abrigo about why she did not communicate that? Because had she done that, this might not have happened, maybe.
That would be something that did not occur, and in that regard, I would refer you back to the police department.
And we are back out here at the intersection, and these are flowers in memory of Corey Eckstein. I did call the city of Suffolk and spoke with Diana Klink, who is the spokesperson with the city of Suffolk, and she wrote to me, the Suffolk Police Department is working to complete its administrative investigation into this matter. Until that time, Officer Babor and Abrigo will remain on administrative assignment. That is the latest. They will not say anything more about it, but clearly Phil Ferguson concerned about this lack of communication between the two officers on scene right here, one of them saying and acknowledging that she did see him drop the gun, but never communicated that to the other officer who was standing here and shot him because he thought that he had a gun, even though he was sitting on the ground. And you will hear coming up later in our newscast, and Phil Ferguson shows this, that while he was sitting on the ground, Corey Eckstein, he goes into his waist, instead of putting his hands up, goes to his waist and then turns around like this. And when he turned around like that, that is when Officer Babor, according to the statements made, thought that he may have a gun and that he would fire that gun. And that's the reason why he shot him. But as we first reported, Corey Eckstein was sitting on the ground. He was shot in the back. He had been down and then sat up. And then that is at the moment that he got shot in the back. 10 on your side's been on this story. We'll have more coming up in our newscast later this afternoon. That's the latest from Suffolk. Andy Fox, 10 on your side.
Andy.